Welcome to Noctrest, a quiet place for you to drift and relax. Here, you will find calm sounds, soft space journeys, and gentle facts. Everything we share is designed to help you unwind, breathe slowly, and slowly drift into sleep. So make yourself comfortable. Close your eyes if you like, and let your mind settle as we begin. Far beyond the familiar night sky, the universe stretches into depths that even the most powerful telescopes struggle to observe. Imagine drifting slowly past the bright stars that fill our galaxy, each one a glowing sun with its own collection of planets. Some barren and rocky, others shrouded in clouds, their atmospheres rippling like liquid metal. Time moves differently out here. A single rotation of a distant star may last longer than an entire human lifetime, and yet it pulses in rhythm with the energy of the cosmos. You glide past clusters of stars, groups held together by invisible bonds of gravity, their positions shifting imperceptibly over millions of years. Occasionally, a lone star will wander from its group, a traveler lost to the void, leaving a subtle trail of dust and gas that drifts slowly behind it. You pass nebulae, enormous clouds of interstellar gas and dust, glowing faintly in shades of deep red, indigo, and gold. These clouds are the cradles of new stars, slowly collapsing under their own gravity, spinning and twisting, their motion almost imperceptible. Tiny pockets of denser material gather like droplets in a vast cosmic ocean, and within them, nuclear fusion will one day ignite. The scale of this process is difficult to comprehend. Millions of years pass in silence as matter shifts, collapses, and ignites, creating new lights that will shine for billions more. Between these vast clouds, empty space dominates, a silent expanse of darkness that feels infinite. Yet this emptiness is not entirely empty. Occasional particles drift lazily, invisible to the eye, carrying traces of ancient supernovae that exploded long before our solar system even formed. You move past remnants of stars, massive spheres that have ended their life cycles in brilliant explosions, scattering heavy elements into the void. These elements, forged in the heart of dying stars, will eventually become part of new worlds, new planets, perhaps even new life. Gravity shapes everything, holding galaxies together, pulling matter into spirals and clusters, slowly orchestrating the dance of countless celestial bodies. You drift past the edge of a galaxy, where stars thin out into a dim halo, and the faint glow of distant galaxies begins to appear. Each one is a collection of billions of stars, each with its own history, its own planets, its own possibilities. The distance between them is vast, measured in millions of light years, and yet the light they emit travels unceasingly, a quiet bridge connecting every corner of the observable universe. As you continue, the sense of scale deepens. You realize that every star, every cloud, every particle is part of an intricate system, moving with a silent precision. There is no rush here, no urgency, only the slow, inevitable motion of matter shaped by forces far beyond human comprehension. You imagine what it might be like to hover silently in one of these regions, watching the dance of stars unfold over millennia, feeling the weight of time itself as it stretches and bends across the empty reaches of space. Here, in this quiet expanse, the universe seems almost alive, not in a conscious way, but in the sense that every motion, every interaction, contributes to a rhythm that has persisted since the dawn of time. As you drift further, small pockets of cosmic dust catch the faint light of distant suns, sparkling softly like tiny lanterns scattered across a black ocean. The vast emptiness is punctuated by these gentle glimmers, reminders that even in what seems most empty, there is motion, there is change, and there is the potential for creation. And so your journey begins, a slow drift through the endless silent corridors of the cosmos, where time is measured in millions of years, and the motions of stars and gas clouds tell a story far larger than any single life, yet intimately connected to all that will come after. As you drift further from familiar star clusters, the blackness deepens, and the sense of emptiness stretches endlessly in every direction. Between the light of distant suns lies the interstellar medium, a sparse mixture of gas and dust so thin that a single breath of it would be invisible even across miles. Yet, over millions of years, this medium shapes the cosmos. Tiny particles collide, slowly aggregating into clouds that ripple imperceptibly under the influence of gravity. Some of these clouds contain molecules that would one day become the building blocks of life, scattered across the void like forgotten seeds waiting for a place to grow. You glide past a filament of cosmic dust, long and slender, winding its way between clusters of stars, barely catching the glow of a sun hundreds of light years away. The light it reflects is faint, almost imperceptible, yet it tells a story of material older than any living thing on Earth. Traces of stars that lived and died billions of years before our sun ever ignited. Somewhere beyond, a supernova remnant drifts silently, a ghost of a star that once burned bright. Its gases spread across light years, carrying heavy elements formed in its core, seeding the surrounding space with iron, carbon, and oxygen, the very elements that would one day coalesce into planets, oceans, and perhaps even the first flickers of consciousness. As you move past it, you notice how slowly it evolves, its colors dimming imperceptibly, yet its influence extends across unimaginable distances, leaving subtle imprints on the formation of nearby stars. Further on, dark clouds obscure entire regions, blocking the light from stars hidden behind them. These molecular clouds are dense and silent, but within their depths, a quiet chaos unfolds. Gravity gathers dust and gas together in imperceptible spirals, setting the stage for star formation. You imagine the slow ignition of fusion deep inside these clouds, and the long, quiet birth of a star that may shine for billions of years. A silent testament to the patience of the cosmos. Across the vast stretches, magnetic fields ripple invisibly, guiding the movement of charged particles and shaping the shapes of nebulae. Streams of particles drift lazily along these fields, occasionally interacting with a distant star's light to create faint glimmers, subtle yet persistent. As you drift through this interstellar sea, galaxies loom in the distance, each a swirling collection of billions of stars, vast and intricate. Some collide slowly over eons, their spirals intertwining in a silent ballet, creating new structures and triggering waves of star formation that ripple through their disks. The sheer scale of these interactions is difficult to comprehend. Each galaxy holds worlds of unimaginable variety, yet most of it remains unseen, hidden in the dim light at the edges, or obscured by dark matter that exerts force without revealing itself. You pass through a region where star formation has paused for millions of years, leaving clusters of aging stars scattered sparsely across space. Their light is faint, tinged with the golden hues of age, moving slowly, yet still shaping the surrounding medium through gravity and radiation. Occasionally, a rogue planet drifts past, untethered to any star, silent and cold, moving across light years without companion or notice. It is a lonely traveler, yet part of the same cosmic rhythm, bound to the universe by the same laws that guide every particle and every star. You notice distant quasars in the far reaches, tiny pinpricks of light from galaxies billions of light years away. Their energy a reminder of the universe's dynamic and often violent history. Though their presence is remote, they remind you that even in the quietest corners, immense forces shape reality, stretching time and energy across unimaginable distances. And yet, despite the enormity, there is a delicate balance. Gravity, radiation, magnetism, these forces interplay to maintain the slow motion of creation and destruction. Stars are born and die, clouds form and disperse, galaxies collide and drift apart, all in a rhythm measured in millions, billions of years. In the silence of this drifting, you feel the scale of time itself, a weight and a calm that surrounds everything. The motions that seem invisible to a human observer are steady and continuous, a slow symphony of matter, light and energy playing out on a scale far beyond comprehension. Every step, every motion, every gentle ripple carries meaning, and yet the universe gives no notice, existing in a quiet state of infinite patience. As you move through these regions, the stars that once seemed distant and static now appear as part of a vast interconnected web. Their light, traveling through space, for millions of years, finally reaches your perception, revealing the hidden complexity of the cosmos. Streams of gas flow like rivers across the blackness, forming intricate patterns that only time can sculpt. In this quiet passage, the universe feels less like emptiness and more like a living mosaic, a network of matter and energy dancing slowly, deliberately, as if it had been waiting for observers to arrive, even if none exist. And so your journey continues, farther from familiar territory, into the endless interstellar sea where creation and decay unfold in silence, where stars and clouds tell stories written in light and gravity, and where the vastness of space invites contemplation of scales so large that a human lifetime barely registers. Here, time stretches and bends, matter drifts without hurry, and the story of the universe reveals itself slowly and deliberately to anyone who chooses to drift along with it. As you drift further into the interstellar sea, the familiar lights of stars grow faint, replaced by regions where darkness seems to have taken on a tangible presence. In these remote corners, matter is sparse, and gravity weaves subtle patterns that shape the universe in ways almost imperceptible. Here lie the massive voids, spaces between galactic clusters that stretch for hundreds of millions of light years, almost entirely empty, yet teeming with invisible forces. The absence of light is profound, but it is not stillness. Dark matter, undetectable yet dominant, threads itself through these voids, exerting its influence on galaxies and clusters, guiding their motion silently. You cannot see it, yet the universe is sculpted by its presence, like a quiet architect shaping every structure without leaving a trace. Amid these voids, tiny, isolated galaxies drift like lonely islands in an ocean of black. Their stars burn faintly, weakly, almost hesitant to shine, but they persist. Some contain only a few thousand stars, fragile and delicate against the immense backdrop of emptiness. Others are massive, ancient, with billions of stars that have quietly aged over billions of years, forming patterns that tell stories of creation, collision, and slow decay. One particularly distant galaxy catches your eye, a spiral so tightly wound that its arms twist in a slow, hypnotic dance. Nebulae within its arms glow faintly, shaped by centuries of stellar winds and the deaths of ancient stars. The spiral rotates slowly, almost imperceptibly, yet every movement is part of a rhythm written in the laws of physics, a rhythm that has persisted since the birth of the universe itself. You continue onward, drawn toward a region filled with the remnants of supernovae, clouds of gas and dust stretched thin by immense explosions that occurred millions of years ago. The gases shimmer faintly in infrared light, invisible to human eyes but real, glowing softly in the spectrum of time itself. Within these clouds, new stars are being born. Slowly, patiently, gravity gathers the gas and dust, spinning it into disks. In the center, dense cores begin the process of nuclear fusion, igniting fires that will shine for millions or billions of years. Around them, planets will eventually form, silently accumulating in orbits dictated by the same forces that guide stars, yet remaining small, fragile, and temporary in comparison. Some of these planets will drift too close to their stars and be consumed in fire, while others will wander far from warmth, cold and lonely. In the cosmic scale, all is fleeting, yet the process continues, infinite in patience and scope. Farther on, a black hole lurks, invisible but known by the curvature of space around it. Time itself behaves strangely near it, stretching and warping under its immense gravity. Light bends and twists, following paths dictated by the unseen. You imagine an object falling slowly toward its edge, stretched by gravitational tides, eventually becoming part of something far larger and unknowable. Despite the danger, there is a strange beauty in this region, a silent, absolute presence that commands awe without drama. It exists simply, and everything around it obeys, moving in rhythms that have been constant for eons. Nearby, a neutron star pulses faintly, a remnant of a supernova that exploded long before your own solar system even formed. Its surface is intense, unimaginably dense, and yet it spins with elegant precision, emitting beams of radiation like the pulse of a cosmic lighthouse. Though far away, you can feel the subtle rhythm of its spin echoing across light years, a metronome counting time on a scale incomprehensible to human senses. Occasionally, its beams sweep across interstellar clouds, ionizing gases and leaving traces of energy that will travel for millennia, invisible yet present, a reminder that even in calmness, motion persists. As you drift past, you notice rogue planets, untethered to any star, moving silently through space. Their surfaces are cold, perhaps frozen oceans beneath crusted surfaces, drifting in darkness. They are lost wanderers, yet part of the grand design, pulled along by the gravitational fields of unseen clusters, destined to encounter galaxies or stars long after you are gone. Each one is a small testament to the endless possibilities within the cosmos, the quiet variations that make the universe simultaneously simple and infinitely complex. Beyond these lonely wanderers, you reach a region dense with cosmic dust and gas, a nursery for massive stars. These stars are unlike our sun, far hotter, more luminous, burning through their fuel at incredible rates, destined to live fast and die spectacularly. You imagine the tension between creation and destruction here. Clouds gather, stars ignite, some collapse into black holes, and yet the cycle continues unbroken. The light from these processes travels for millions of years before reaching any observer, painting a subtle tapestry across the universe, a slow-motion drama beyond comprehension. In this vastness, galaxies drift past one another, sometimes colliding, merging in a slow cosmic embrace. Stars are thrown into new orbits, nebulae compressed and reshaped, and for billions of years, the universe evolves in silence. Occasionally, gravitational waves ripple outward, distortions in space-time moving across unimaginable distances, imperceptible yet real. They are the echoes of great movements, a gentle reminder that even the most massive events occur quietly in the endless void. And as you continue to drift, you sense the scale of time and space itself, stretching and folding in ways that defy ordinary understanding. The universe moves according to principles older than any memory, yet alive in its motion, a vast and silent story of matter, energy, and time. Stars ignite, stars fade, galaxies spin and collide, planets wander, and through it all the universe remains, patient, deliberate, and endlessly fascinating. It is in this silence, this measured pace, that the cosmos reveals its quiet majesty, a rhythm that is both gentle and infinite, inviting anyone who drifts along to witness a story written in light, gravity, and time itself. As you drift ever farther, the familiar glow of ordinary stars fades, replaced by phenomena so rare and unusual that they almost seem like illusions, teasing the mind with the universe's infinite variety. Here, black holes dominate the landscape, invisible yet omnipresent, warping the very fabric of space-time around them. Not all black holes are the same. Some are born of massive stars, dense remnants no larger than a city, but with gravity so intense that nothing, not even light, escapes. Others, supermassive in scale, lie at the hearts of galaxies, their presence dictating the motion of billions of stars orbiting around them. You imagine approaching one of these colossal giants. Time slows, light bends, and space itself seems to stretch and warp. Despite their destructive potential, there is a strange beauty in the way matter spirals toward the event horizon, glowing softly in X-rays before disappearing into the unseen. Nearby, a cluster of neutron stars pulses in silent rhythm. Unlike ordinary stars, they are the remnants of massive explosions, small and unimaginably dense. A single teaspoon of one of these stars would weigh billions of tons on Earth. They spin with remarkable precision, and some emit beams of radiation, sweeping across space like cosmic lighthouses. From a distance, these pulsars seem almost musical, their rotations regular and predictable, yet utterly alien. Occasionally, two neutron stars collide, creating ripples in space-time, gravitational waves that journey across the cosmos for millions of years. Imperceptible to the senses, yet powerful enough to reshape the universe itself. You drift past strange stellar objects, stars that live fast and die young, burning thousands of times brighter than the sun before collapsing into black holes in mere millions of years. Their brilliance is fleeting, a brief flare in the endless night. Yet their influence is permanent, seeding surrounding space with elements heavier than iron, the building blocks of worlds yet to be born. Here, amidst the remains of countless stars, you notice rogue planets, solitary travelers drifting untethered through space. Cold, silent, and eternal, they wander the interstellar void, sometimes captured by a distant star's gravity, other times destined to drift forever in isolation. Farther still, you glimpse the faint glow of ancient galaxies at the edge of the observable universe. Their light has traveled for billions of years, stretched and reddened by the expansion of space itself. These galaxies are snapshots of the early cosmos, revealing how the universe looked when it was young, when stars were just beginning to cluster into galaxies, and the first black holes formed from the collapse of massive primordial stars. You watch as young galaxies collide and merge, forming spirals and ellipticals in slow-motion dances that last millions of years. Star formation ignites and fades, supernovae erupt, and gas clouds twist and collapse, all in a delicate balance, orchestrated by gravity, dark matter, and the faint radiation left over from the Big Bang. The farther you drift, the more the universe feels alive, yet not in any familiar sense. It is vast, incomprehensible, and patient. Time stretches in ways that defy ordinary perception. You sense the slow but inevitable expansion of space, galaxies moving away from each other, carried by the unseen hand of cosmic expansion. Dark energy exerts its quiet influence, accelerating the motion of distant clusters and shaping the universe on the largest scales. Invisible filaments of matter connect galaxy clusters, forming a web of structure across billions of light years. Within this web, galaxies form, collide, and fade, creating patterns of unimaginable complexity, all dictated by forces that are silent, invisible, and eternal. Among the galaxies, you notice strange quasars, energetic cores of young galaxies fueled by supermassive black holes. Their brightness is phenomenal, outshining entire galaxies for brief moments, yet they are tiny on a cosmic scale. Streams of gas spiral into their centers, heated to incredible temperatures, emitting light across the electromagnetic spectrum. Though distant, their presence is a reminder that the universe is not static. Energy flows, matter moves, and transformation is constant, even in the quietest corners. You drift past giant molecular clouds, immense nurseries where stars are born in the quiet patience of time. Gas and dust spiral inward, forming protostars that will one day ignite in nuclear fusion. Around them, disks of material gather, destined to become planets. The processes here are slow, almost imperceptible, yet profound. One day, these regions will host stars that shine brightly for billions of years, worlds that may harbor life, and phenomena that will echo across space long after their birth. Farther still, the universe becomes stranger. You see regions filled with hypervelocity stars ejected from galactic centers at speeds of thousands of kilometers per second. They race across the cosmos, untethered and unobserved, their journey carrying them to the far edges of galaxies or even into the void between them. Some travel alone, some in pairs, companions cast away by gravitational interactions, yet all part of the silent, unending motion of the cosmos. And as you drift among these wonders, you sense a deeper rhythm, the slow, inevitable progression of the universe itself. Stars ignite and fade, galaxies collide and merge, black holes consume and shape, and in the spaces between, matter flows like an invisible river. Every particle, every photon, every gravitational wave is part of this immense narrative, a story that began at the dawn of time and will continue long after any observer is gone. In the quiet vastness, you realize that the universe is both infinite and intimate, mysterious yet comprehensible in its patterns, and endlessly fascinating to those who take the time to drift along with it. Here in the deep reaches of space, silence is not emptiness. It is a canvas upon which the grandest events are painted, slowly, deliberately, and with infinite patience. Time, matter, and energy dance together in ways that defy ordinary perception, and for anyone willing to witness, the story of the universe unfolds endlessly, silently, and beautifully. Far beyond familiar galaxies, you drift toward the edges of the observable universe, where light itself has barely arrived from the earliest epochs. Here, the cosmos feels different, as if the rules you once understood stretch and twist, testing the imagination. The first thing you notice is the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background, a whisper of radiation lingering across space. It is almost imperceptible, a pale hum of energy that has traveled for nearly 14 billion years, carrying stories from the universe's infancy. You sense that this light has witnessed everything: the birth of stars, the formation of galaxies, the rise and fall of cosmic giants, and yet it remains steady, quiet, constant. Nearby, dark matter dominates the landscape. Invisible, untouchable, yet powerful, it threads itself through galaxies, holding them together and guiding the motion of stars. You cannot see it, but its presence is undeniable. In some regions, galaxies rotate faster than they should, an invisible hand tugging and pulling, creating patterns that would otherwise be impossible. It is a silent puppeteer, shaping the universe without a hint of its form, a reminder that what we perceive is only a fraction of the cosmic reality. Beyond that, you notice quasars, ancient and bright, their light traveling billions of years to reach this point. These galactic cores are powered by supermassive black holes, feasting on surrounding matter and radiating enormous energy across space. They are the lighthouses of the universe, tiny but dazzling, signaling immense power concentrated into infinitesimal points. Around them, disks of glowing gas spiral inward, heating to millions of degrees, while jets of matter are ejected at near light speeds, shooting across thousands of light years in perfect alignment. You follow one of these jets as it stretches across the void, a silent arrow of energy carving its path through the darkness. Rogue black holes float quietly among the stars, untethered by galaxies, wandering the void alone. Occasionally, one encounters a star or planet, pulling it into orbit or consuming it entirely. Their presence is subtle, their motion nearly invisible, yet the forces they exert ripple across space, influencing the trajectories of everything nearby. These solitary giants are a reminder that even in calmness, the universe is alive with motion, with potential for destruction and creation alike. As you continue, your path takes you past exotic stars, hypergiants, their mass dozens of times greater than the Sun, burning with incredible luminosity, destined to end in spectacular supernovae. You notice their radiation shaping the clouds around them, creating cavities in the interstellar medium, stirring gas and dust into new patterns. Sometimes these stars exist in binaries or trinaries, locked in gravitational dances that last millions of years, twisting around one another in slow, intricate orbits. You watch as their interactions tug on surrounding material, scattering debris and triggering the birth of smaller stars in distant corners. Even stranger, you glimpse regions where the universe itself seems almost fractured, where gravitational lensing bends the light of distant galaxies into arcs and distorted shapes. Massive clusters pull light into patterns that resemble fluid waves, revealing both the presence of unseen mass and the immense scale of cosmic forces at work. It is beautiful and unsettling, a reminder that the universe is both elegant and unknowable, a place where perception can be deceived and yet truth persists, hidden in the invisible curvature of space-time. You drift past vast filaments of galaxies, cosmic highways stretching millions of light-years, connecting clusters and groups in an intricate web. Between them lie immense voids, dark expanses where almost no matter exists, only whispers of radiation and the faint presence of unseen dark matter. These voids dominate the universe by volume, yet they are far from lifeless. Within them, tiny pockets of gas and dust coalesce slowly, perhaps forming isolated stars or wandering rogue planets, unseen by any observer but moving through the void with quiet purpose. Somewhere along this path, you notice a gravitational wave passing silently, a ripple in space-time itself, caused by the collision of two distant black holes. It stretches across billions of kilometers in perfect symmetry, almost imperceptible yet profoundly real. Its energy is enormous, but it moves without drama, a subtle reminder that even the most violent events can unfold with elegance in the quiet expanse of space. And then, in a region at the very edge of observation, you see the faint glow of the first galaxies forming, tiny collections of stars gathering from primordial gas. They are ancient, fragile, and small, yet their light carries through billions of years to reach you. These galaxies are the seedlings of the modern cosmos, the ancestors of every galaxy that exists today. Their stars burn with a pale, steady light, illuminating the early universe, showing that even in the beginning, the laws of physics governed matter with precision, patience, and an almost poetic grace. As you drift among these wonders, you sense that space is not empty, nor is it chaotic. It is organized on scales that dwarf comprehension, a silent symphony of forces and motion, where gravity, radiation, dark matter, and dark energy interact to shape every star, galaxy, and particle. The universe is vast beyond imagining, yet intimate in its details, offering beauty and awe to anyone willing to drift along, to witness the slow, intricate dance that has unfolded over billions of years. And in this place, at the edge of the known, the universe feels eternal, patient, and endlessly fascinating. It invites observation, reflection, and wonder, a calm yet compelling reminder of the scale and majesty of all that exists. Here, every photon, every atom, every gravitational pull contributes to a narrative of creation and motion that continues unbroken, stretching into the infinite beyond, silent but undeniably alive. Beyond the regions of galaxies and clusters you have drifted past, the universe begins to reveal its most subtle and enigmatic forces, the ones that do not shine, do not collide, and yet dictate the motion of everything you have seen so far. Dark energy, an invisible pressure stretching the very fabric of space, dominates the vast expanses between clusters. Its presence is quiet, nearly undetectable, yet it drives galaxies apart at accelerating speeds, shaping the large-scale structure of the cosmos in ways both incomprehensible and absolute. You sense that in this emptiness, in these stretches of near nothingness, the universe is not still. Space itself is expanding, flowing outward silently, carrying with it galaxies, stars, and clouds of gas as passengers in an invisible current. Amid these vast stretches, isolated galaxy clusters appear, anchored not only by gravity, but by filaments of dark matter, invisible highways along which matter flows slowly and predictably. Within these clusters, supermassive black holes dominate the centers of galaxies, some dormant, others feasting on nearby gas and stars, emitting narrow jets of material at near-light speeds. You watch these jets as they pierce the intergalactic medium, glowing faintly in X-rays and radio waves stretching across hundreds of thousands of light-years. The scale is staggering. These streams of energy and matter are vast beyond comprehension, yet they move with a quiet elegance, shaping the galaxies around them in silence. Drifting past these cosmic lighthouses, you encounter regions of exotic matter, places theorized but only glimpsed indirectly through their gravitational effects. Strange particles, heavier than any familiar element, influence the rotation of stars, tug on clusters, and leave subtle imprints in the cosmic microwave background. You imagine how different physics might feel in these places, where ordinary matter behaves in ways unseen on Earth, yet obeys laws you can only begin to understand. The presence of this matter hints at secrets hidden in the universe's fabric, unseen yet fundamental to the motion and growth of everything. Between these clusters, vast filaments stretch across millions of light-years, connecting regions of relative density in a web-like network. The voids between the filaments are immense, seemingly empty, yet they are not void in a true sense. Occasional rogue planets drift through these expanses, untethered to any star, some carrying frozen oceans beneath thick crusts of ice, moving slowly through dark space for billions of years. Tiny pockets of gas drift along invisible currents, hinting at the quiet processes that may one day spark star formation far from any luminous anchor. Even here, in what seems empty, the universe is alive with slow, patient motion. As you drift further, you come across the remnants of galactic collisions. Spirals twist and warp, stars scattered across new orbits, and clouds of gas and dust collide, compress, and ignite new waves of star formation. These slow dances of creation and destruction are gentle yet immense, spanning millions of years, and they continue without urgency, a testament to the patient rhythm of cosmic evolution. You notice the faint glow of hot gas heated by gravitational interactions, visible only in X-rays, illuminating the interactions of structures otherwise invisible to the human eye. In some regions, you find pulsars spinning with remarkable precision. These neutron stars, dense beyond imagining, emit beams of radiation like slow metronomes, sweeping across light years with silent regularity. Occasionally, a pulsar will glitch, shifting its rotation slightly, a subtle anomaly in an otherwise precise rhythm, hinting at internal processes so extreme and alien that understanding them challenges every assumption of matter and physics. Nearby, magnetars pulse faintly with magnetic fields trillions of times stronger than Earth's, warping their surroundings in subtle ways. Their quiet power is a reminder that even in stillness, the universe harbors extremes beyond ordinary comprehension. Farther still, you sense the slow expansion of space itself more profoundly. The light from ancient galaxies is red-shifted, stretched and dimmed by billions of years of cosmic expansion. Beyond these, the universe becomes a place of speculation and mystery. Theoretical objects like wormholes, shortcuts in space-time, or regions where multiple universes might overlap. You imagine drifting toward one, the faint pull of gravity hinting at unseen possibilities, yet the vast emptiness assures patience. Here, imagination almost touches reality, yet everything remains calm, silent, and incomprehensibly vast. Amid these distant and alien phenomena, ordinary stars continue their quiet lives. Red dwarfs burn steadily for trillions of years, small and unassuming, yet persistent. Binary systems rotate in intricate gravitational dances, occasionally producing cataclysmic outbursts of energy, yet mostly maintaining slow, elegant orbits. Planets form, drift, freeze, and occasionally fall into stellar embrace. Even in the most exotic corners, the universe repeats these subtle rhythms, scales of motion that are familiar in principle but extraordinary in magnitude. And as you drift through these whispers of the invisible, the universe seems infinite, patient, and deliberate. Gravity, dark matter, dark energy, exotic particles, and electromagnetic forces all weave a narrative written in time, light, and motion. Nothing here is rushed, nothing is wasted, and every structure, from the tiniest particle to the largest cluster, contributes to a rhythm that has persisted since the dawn of time. You feel the quiet majesty of the cosmos, a story unfolding slowly, infinitely, and yet intimately, for any observer willing to follow the currents of space, to witness the gentle symphony of the universe. As you drift ever farther into the void, familiar structures fade into a sea of possibilities. Galaxies grow smaller in your vision, and clusters that once seemed immense now appear as mere points, connected by filaments that stretch like invisible threads. The universe here feels both empty and crowded, a paradox that only time can reconcile. Among these vast distances, rogue black holes move silently, untethered to any galaxy. Some are remnants of massive stars, ejected violently by collisions or supernovae. Others may have formed in isolation, primordial giants wandering through the dark. Their gravity subtly bends the paths of nearby stars, nudges clouds of gas, and occasionally consumes a wandering planet, leaving trails of matter that slowly spiral into the invisible maw. Nearby, a supermassive black hole spins at unimaginable speed, pulling in matter with elegant inevitability. Gas forms a glowing accretion disk, heated to millions of degrees, while powerful relativistic jets erupt along its poles, shooting matter across hundreds of thousands of light-years. These jets collide with interstellar clouds, compressing gas, triggering bursts of star formation in regions that had been dormant for millions of years. You imagine the chaos happening silently across these vast distances, energy released in bursts so intense they could outshine an entire galaxy, yet occurring over thousands of years, so slowly that a single moment feels calm and serene to any distant observer. Beyond these energetic regions, gamma-ray bursts flicker briefly in distant galaxies, the briefest but most luminous explosions in the universe. They last only seconds, yet they release more energy than our sun will emit over its entire lifetime. From your drifting vantage, these bursts are tiny pinpricks of brilliance, subtle against the black canvas of space, yet they mark cataclysmic transformations. The deaths of massive stars, the formation of neutron stars, or the birth of black holes. These bursts are reminders that the universe can be violent, yet even this violence is measured, controlled by forces that span millions of light years and millions of years in duration. Farther still, jets from quasars pierce the intergalactic medium, colliding with gas clouds left over from ancient galactic collisions. These collisions send shockwaves through the clouds, compressing material and triggering slow waves of star formation that ripple across millions of years. Streams of ionized gas trace the paths of these interactions, glowing faintly in X-rays and radio waves, a silent ballet of energy and matter choreographed by gravity and magnetism. It is beautiful, almost musical, yet completely alien, a symphony of physics operating on scales impossible to fully comprehend. You drift past chains of supernova remnants, massive clouds of gas and dust expelled by stars that ended their lives billions of years ago. These clouds expand slowly, interacting with other remnants, forming new structures, compressing nearby clouds, and leaving traces of heavy elements essential to the formation of future stars and planets. Occasionally, shock waves from one supernova collide with another, creating turbulent, glowing regions that ripple across light years. Even in this seeming chaos, there is order. Gravity guides the motion of every particle, radiation pushes and heats surrounding gas, and time stretches, making these violent events feel almost imperceptible. Amid all this, the universe reminds you of its extremes. Magnetars, neutron stars with magnetic fields trillions of times stronger than Earth's, pulse gently, warping their surroundings in ways almost unimaginable. Hypergiants flare and fade, burning millions of times brighter than the sun, while their companion stars dance in slow, intricate orbits, tugging at each other with invisible hands. Rogue planets drift silently, sometimes captured by distant stars, sometimes falling into black holes, sometimes traveling for billions of years in utter isolation. And beyond, at the very edge of the observable universe, galaxies barely visible from this distance shine with the light of the first stars. These ancient galaxies tell the story of the cosmos in its infancy. Small, fragile, luminous points of matter coalescing, forming the seeds of the structures we see today. They are snapshots of beginnings, reminders that every star, every black hole, every cloud you have passed originated from processes so patient, so immense, that human lifetimes are nothing more than whispers against their scale. As you drift through these wild frontiers, you feel the rhythm of the universe itself, the slow, deliberate motion of matter and energy, the patient unfolding of creation and transformation. Stars are born, stars die, galaxies collide, black holes consume, and cosmic jets carve paths across empty space. Everything operates in a harmony that is imperceptible, immense, and unending. You realize that the universe is not chaotic, it is deliberate, each motion and interaction a note in a symphony played across billions of years. Every photon, every gravitational pull, every collision contributes to the story, a narrative of creation, transformation, and infinite patience written in the language of matter, energy, and space-time itself. Here, in the remote reaches of the universe, the cosmos reveals its wildest wonders, its most extreme phenomena, yet does so with a calmness that feels eternal. It is a place where time stretches, space bends, and the unimaginable becomes reality, inviting any observer willing to drift along to witness the vast, intricate, and endlessly fascinating story of the universe. As you continue to drift outward, the universe begins to feel less like a collection of stars and galaxies, and more like a vast unfolding tapestry woven across billions of years. Each thread is matter and energy, each knot a galaxy, each weave a subtle interaction of forces invisible to the eye. You sense time stretching, folding, and bending as you move deeper into this fabric, and the light that reaches you has traveled for eons, a silent messenger from an ancient cosmos. Here, you glimpse the first galaxies, faint glimmers forming from primordial clouds of hydrogen and helium. These galaxies are small and fragile, yet they are persistent, coalescing under gravity's patient guidance. Their stars ignite slowly, their light barely escaping the vast distances to mark their presence across time. You notice the remnants of cosmic inflation, a rapid expansion that occurred mere fractions of a second after the Big Bang, stretching space itself faster than the speed of light. The imprints of this expansion remain, subtle ripples in the cosmic microwave background, faint fingerprints of the universe's earliest moments. You drift through these ripples, imagining the violent and incomprehensible processes that set the stage for everything to come. Tiny quantum fluctuations, invisible and delicate, eventually grew into clusters of matter, forming the scaffolding upon which galaxies, stars, and planets would later form. It is humbling to witness, realizing that the immense structures you have seen and will continue to see all began from almost nothing. orchestrated by the quiet laws of physics. Between galaxies, you notice filaments of dark matter, invisible threads that guide the flow of ordinary matter. These filaments stretch across millions of light-years, forming an intricate web with voids in between that seem almost infinitely empty. Yet even these voids contain subtle traces of gas and occasional wandering objects, hinting at the quiet but constant activity that fills even the most desolate regions. Some of these voids are punctuated by quasars and the rare, brilliant gamma-ray bursts, the echoes of cosmic processes so energetic that they would dwarf any star you have known. Within galaxies themselves, the life cycles of stars play out in patient rhythms. Massive stars ignite with brilliant intensity only to collapse into black holes or neutron stars after millions of years. Red dwarfs burn steadily for trillions of years. Faint but enduring, their quiet glow providing stability in an otherwise chaotic universe. In clusters and mergers, stars scatter into new orbits. Gas clouds compress and ignite new stellar generations, and cosmic dust drifts slowly to form the seeds of planets and moons. You feel the incredible patience of these processes, the elegance of forces acting across timescales that exceed human comprehension. You encounter regions of exotic phenomena, theorized yet not fully understood. Cosmic strings, hypothetical remnants of the early universe, may stretch across millions of light-years, carrying immense tension, bending space and time subtly around them. Wormholes, theoretical shortcuts through space-time, hint at possibilities where distance and time are no longer barriers, connecting distant parts of the universe in ways our minds can scarcely imagine. Even if they exist only as faint probabilities, their presence in this mental landscape adds layers of mystery and wonder, suggesting that the universe is stranger than observation alone can reveal. Drifting farther, you see the slow, inevitable motion of galactic clusters. Some drift apart, carried by the accelerating expansion of space, driven by the unseen influence of dark energy. Others collide over billions of years, merging their stars and gas into new galaxies, setting off waves of star formation that echo through intergalactic space. The collisions are graceful on a cosmic scale, violent in energy yet deliberate in timing, a testament to the patience inherent in the universe. You pause to observe supermassive black holes at the centers of these galaxies. Some feed slowly, drawing in gas and dust from surrounding stars, forming accretion disks that glow faintly in X-rays. Others remain dormant, silent and invisible, yet their gravity subtly influences the orbits of millions of stars around them. You notice the occasional jet erupting from one, traveling thousands of light-years across the void, interacting with clouds of gas, compressing, heating, and sometimes triggering the birth of new stars. The cycles of creation and destruction intertwine seamlessly, a cosmic rhythm that is as ancient as time itself. At the edges of your perception, you catch the faint glow of light that has traveled for billions of years, originating from galaxies that formed shortly after the Big Bang. Their stars burn with pale intensity, their light stretched by the universe's expansion. They remind you of beginnings, of time almost unfathomably distant, yet connected to everything you have seen and everything you will continue to witness. The universe here feels infinite, patient, and deliberate, a silent narrative unfolding with elegance and subtle power. Even in the emptiest regions, even where galaxies are few and far between, the universe is alive with motion. Matter drifts along filaments, rogue planets wander through voids, stars live and die, black holes consume and shape. and energy pulses across unimaginable distances. You feel the scale of this grand design, the patience of the cosmos, the interplay of forces that shape existence from the tiniest particle to the largest supercluster. And so you continue to drift deeper into the tapestry of time and space, observing, contemplating, and moving in quiet synchrony with a universe that has existed for eons and will continue long after any observer is gone. Here, the story of creation, transformation, and motion stretches infinitely outward, a silent, deliberate, and endlessly fascinating narrative written in light, matter, and time itself. Drifting ever farther, the familiar galaxies now appear as tiny pinpricks of light, and the vast cosmic web stretches endlessly in all directions. Here, the universe feels both ancient and alive, a slow-motion stage for events that last millions or even billions of years. You notice massive galaxies slowly merging, their spiral arms twisting around one another like dancers in a silent ballet. Stars are thrown into new orbits, sometimes flung into intergalactic space as hypervelocity stars traveling silently across the void. Gas clouds collide, compress, and ignite, birthing new generations of stars even as old stars reach the ends of their lives. It is a rhythm of creation and destruction, vast and deliberate, operating on scales impossible to fully perceive. Amid these interactions, supernova chains ripple through galaxies. One massive star dies in a brilliant explosion, sending shock waves through the surrounding clouds. These shock waves trigger the collapse of nearby gas, igniting the next generation of stars, which will eventually live and die in their own cycles. The process repeats again and again, a chain reaction spanning millions of years, leaving traces of heavy elements essential for planets and life. From this distance, the explosions are almost imperceptible, faint glows in the darkness, yet their influence shapes entire galaxies. You sense the quiet orchestration behind what seems chaotic, every motion guided by gravity, energy, and the patient rules of physics. You drift past hypergiant stars, colossal in size and luminosity, many destined to end in spectacular supernovae or collapse into black holes. Their brilliance lights up nearby clouds, sculpting nebulae into intricate shapes. Binary and trinary systems dance with subtle gravitational interactions, tugging matter in complex patterns. Occasionally, one of these massive stars tears apart a nearby companion, sending streams of matter spiraling across space. The collisions are violent, yet slow on a human scale, reminders of the immense patience and power inherent in cosmic evolution. Farther out, rogue black holes wander alone, untethered by any galaxy. Some pass through clusters of stars, subtly influencing their paths, consuming matter in silence. Others drift through voids, invisible and mysterious, yet their gravity still affects distant clouds and galaxies. Occasionally, you notice one bending light as it passes near a distant star, a subtle reminder that even the unseen has a presence and a role in the universe's narrative. Cosmic jets from supermassive black holes streak across intergalactic space, colliding with diffuse gas clouds. These collisions compress the clouds, sometimes triggering bursts of star formation across thousands of light years. The jets themselves are enormous, stretching beyond the galaxies they originate from, yet moving with perfect precision. They carve structures into the cosmos, influencing regions far beyond what the eye can see, shaping the evolution of clusters and filaments over eons. You pause to observe vast clusters of galaxies. Some drift apart, carried by the accelerating expansion of space, driven by dark energy. Others slowly merge, their stars and gas intermingling, reshaping galactic architecture. These motions happen over billions of years, almost imperceptible in the span of time you perceive, yet they define the universe's structure, the arrangement of matter across unimaginable distances. At the edges of perception, the faint afterglow of the cosmic microwave background whispers stories from the universe's infancy. These ancient photons have traveled billions of years to reach you, carrying imprints of primordial fluctuations, seeds that grew into the galaxies you have passed. In these subtle variations, you sense the universe's earliest narrative, the quiet emergence of structure from near uniformity, the patient unfolding of complexity from simplicity. Even in the emptiest voids, motion continues. Tiny clouds of gas drift along invisible currents, occasionally coalescing into protostars. Rogue planets wander, sometimes captured, sometimes lost forever. Gravity, dark matter, and energy guide their paths with meticulous precision, shaping patterns that are invisible to the eye, yet profoundly real. Every particle, every photon, every wave contributes to the ongoing story, a silent, deliberate symphony that stretches from the birth of the cosmos to its distant future. And as you drift among these final motions, you sense the inevitability of time and change. Stars will burn out, galaxies will fade, black holes will dominate their surroundings, and the universe will continue expanding. Yet even this slow decline is beautiful, a testament to the quiet majesty of cosmic evolution. Everything moves with purpose, nothing wasted, all part of a rhythm that has persisted since the dawn of time. Here, in the wild frontiers, the universe reveals itself as both infinite and intimate, violent and serene, unknowable and yet subtly comprehensible to those willing to drift along and witness its quiet grandeur. As you drift deeper into the vastness of the cosmos, the familiar glow of countless stars begins to fade. Galaxies, once abundant and luminous, now appear sparse, stretched thin across the expanding fabric of space. Time has passed in unimaginable spans, and the universe has settled into a quiet rhythm. Star formation slows to a near halt, gas clouds depleted, their fuel spent. Red dwarfs persist, small and enduring, yet even their faint light will eventually wane. In the far reaches, massive stars have long since exhausted their life cycles, ending in brilliant supernovae or collapsing into black holes. You notice the dominance of black holes, vast and silent. Supermassive giants occupy the centers of aging galaxies, pulling in the remaining matter with quiet inevitability. Rogue black holes drift through intergalactic space, untethered and solitary, occasionally interacting with the remnants of once brilliant galaxies. Collisions are rare now, but when they occur, the results are monumental. Silent reshaping of structures on scales beyond ordinary comprehension. Matter continues its journey, guided by gravity and motion, orbiting, colliding, and ultimately disappearing into the inescapable grip of these dark titans. Even in this far future cosmos, subtle phenomena persist. Neutron stars pulse slowly, their rotations winding down over billions of years, emitting faint radiation that travels across nearly empty space. Magnetars, once fierce and radiant, now dim, their magnetic fields decaying over eons. Gamma-ray bursts are rare relics of a bygone era, fleeting events whose energy is barely noticeable against the vast silence that dominates the universe. Cosmic jets continue to pierce space, though fewer in number, shaping the occasional cloud of residual gas and leaving gentle glowing trails across the darkness. Dark energy stretches space itself with quiet inevitability, accelerating the expansion of the universe. Clusters of galaxies drift apart, carried further and further into the void, leaving isolated islands of matter suspended in the ever-expanding ocean of emptiness. Even the largest structures, superclusters and filaments of dark matter, slowly separate, their connections weakening over unimaginable distances. The universe becomes ever quieter, more solitary, yet infinitely grand. It is a calm dominated by time, an eternal canvas for slow, deliberate processes unfolding across scales beyond comprehension. You observe the final remnants of galactic interactions. Collisions are infrequent now, but those that occur are profound, merging the few remaining stars and black holes into new configurations. Spiral galaxies have long since faded into elliptical or irregular forms, their orbits stabilized, stars moving slowly in silent arcs. Star clusters age, shedding stars to intergalactic space, leaving dense cores behind. Nebulae, once brilliant with the energy of young stars, now drift faintly, glowing only in the infrared as they cool, their material gradually dispersing into the void. The universe now feels eternal in both space and time. Light from distant stars takes billions of years to traverse the ever-stretching fabric of space. The afterglow of the cosmic microwave background, a whisper from the universe's birth, is redshifted into near invisibility, a pale echo of the primordial event that set everything into motion. You sense the passage of time in subtle shifts, rotations slowing, radiation fading, matter drifting, energy dissipating, all operating under laws as old and immutable as the cosmos itself. Even as darkness grows, there is beauty in the persistence of structure. Black holes, still spinning, dominate their local regions, occasionally merging and sending ripples through space-time, gravitational waves that traverse the empty void. Remaining stars orbit carefully in the faint remnants of galaxies, their motions a testament to the enduring influence of gravity. Rogue planets drift silently, frozen and unilluminated, carrying with them histories of worlds that may once have known warmth and light, now wandering alone through the cosmic ocean. In the furthest reaches, you imagine regions beyond observation, where galaxies have long vanished from sight, swallowed by black holes, or separated so widely by expansion that their light can no longer reach any observer. Perhaps here, other structures persist, entirely unseen, yet subject to the same rules, the same patient, deliberate motions that govern the universe. You feel that even in this deep silence, motion never ceases. Every particle, every photon, every wave contributes to a subtle, eternal narrative written in the language of gravity, energy, and space-time. And then you perceive the final scales of the universe. Over trillions of years, even red dwarfs will extinguish, leaving only black dwarfs, cold, inert, and faint. Black holes will continue to dominate, slowly evaporating over unimaginable spans of time via Hawking radiation, releasing their energy back into space. Matter and energy will eventually disperse, scattered across the endless void, leaving a universe dominated by empty space, quiet yet structured, infinite yet serene. Here in this ultimate horizon, the universe feels complete. Every event, every star, every galaxy, every black hole, every wave of energy contributes to a narrative of creation, transformation, and inevitable decay. Yet within this calm, there is majesty, a subtle grandeur that spans billions of light years and eons of time. The cosmos is infinite, patient, deliberate, and astonishingly beautiful. Even in silence, it tells its story. The story of everything that ever existed and everything that will ever be, in a rhythm both eternal and gentle, a narrative for those willing to drift along and witness the infinite majesty of existence.